What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 71 today of the My Player Career Mode. And as we get into today's episode, if you take a look at the Champions League group stage that we are currently in, 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 defeat from the opening 3 games for Manchester United leave them in a precarious situation. If they don't win the next couple of games, they might be getting knocked out even before the knockout rounds have got into the swing of things. So they're defending champions of the Champions League, and this game against Galatasaray could be oh so important for them. That's the side that Mourinho did name. No taking of any prisoners in this one. You can see it's a very strong team as well. And as I said, defeats here, depending on how that game against Ajax and Barcelona gets on, later on down the line in the group stage, could be detrimental to Man United. So they need to try and at least, I would say, win this game against Galatasaray. If they've got to win any, it's probably going to be this one, because maybe Barcelona will do them a solid and make sure that they beat Ajax to stop Ajax from getting any points at all. But that is the side, as I said, and this game is going to be a tough game as well. Galatasaray, not going to be easy opponents, even though it is over at Old Trafford. So again, the home advantage should give them that little bit of a bonus they need as well. And before we get into this episode, I want to say massive thank you for all of your support, as always, guys. On the last episode, it was great to see you again. And that's just down to the fact that you guys are all incredible. So give yourselves a pat on the back for that one. Thank you so much. Apologies, by the way, if you can hear the little bit of rumbling that's going on. Like, there is people doing some gardening outside on my street. And it's basically right next to, and unfortunately, they're having to use my garden as well. So it means that that might be picked up. So if you can hear it, I'm apologizing. But if not, take no notice. Doesn't matter, because I'm just talking out my rear end. But that is the Galatasaray side anyway. And it's got Rondon in it, of course. You've seen their side before. We played against it before as well. So this one is going to be interesting. As I said, Man United need to win this one. So all the pressure is on them. And 30 minutes into this game, Ben was already yellow carded at this point, and it was the first chance of the game as well. And to say that it was a fantastic first half would be lying, because it really wasn't. In terms of the chances created, wasn't many, and this one was the pick of the bunch in this opening half of a very select few chances. And let me just say, the pass from Ben basically made that chance there for Martins. What a through ball it was, and I was so gutted to not see Martins score there to make the score 1-0. And as we continued into the second half, it was still United on the front foot, but again, it was a lack of real creativity in the side, and it took into the 61st minute for Ben's right-footed shot to be saved by Musleri. And then 10 minutes or so later, again, Ben on the ball, not having a fantastic game here. He did play that nice pass, as I said, through to Martins, which probably should have been 1-0. He finds Lukaku in the middle of the box, who can only hit the side netting. So United left frustrated at this stage. And as I said, a draw here, I don't think would have been enough to see them get out of this group. This is going to be really tough if they get the draw now. And with about 15 minutes to go, it just so happens that when you need your big players to step up, that's what Ben does here. He plays the pass originally out wide to the left, doesn't sit back and say, hey, that was a nice pass, let me just stand there and watch that pass. He continues his run into the penalty area, gets the return from the man, and with a right foot smashes it past the Galatasaray goalkeeper to give the home side the advantage. There he is playing the pass, and there he is busting his gut to get into the box, and he arrives on it with a first time finish as well. So Man United's number 7 has just given them the lead in the 70-something minute of this one. So how important is that goal going to be? We'll find out later on. Of course, there's still 15 minutes to go, and even though Galatasaray haven't really had anything going for them today, there's every chance that in the last 15 minutes they could create one opportunity that might be the difference, and they did create it as well. It was in the last minute of the game, 90 minutes on the clock. Ball down the left-hand side to Solomon Kalou. He goes down the left, which is a great cross towards the back post, and there was the man on the back there, very nearly heading home to make the score 1-1. But luckily for Man United, they held on to a 1-0 victory, and that is a massive 3 points in their group stage triumph, I guess, because, it really is very close now. And if Ajax have somehow beaten Barcelona, it means that they're still 2 points behind Manchester United, so nothing is set in stone. And unfortunately for Manchester United, that was the case. Ajax had defeated Barcelona by a 1-0. So the group stage now is so close. Barca are on 9 points, Manchester United on 7, and Ajax on 5. So there's 2 points separating first, second, and third. There you go. That is the group stage as it currently is. Remember, Man United still have to play against Ajax and Barcelona. So these are the important games, whereas Ajax, I think, have got to play Man United and Galatasaray. So, yeah, it's interesting, to say the least. So we'll see how it's going to play out later on. But for now, United still sat second in that group stage, and by no means are they out of the group yet. We've still got a lot of work to do in that front. So that goal could be proved to be very important that Ben just scored a moment ago. Now, as we go into the next game, we're back to some Premier League action. Swansea City away at the Liberty Stadium. It's going to be so tough again because it's hard to break teams down when you're lacking creativity originally, and teams like Swansea are very good at basically negating your better players. So Ben, for example, he's going to be marked quite tightly, and chances are he's going to have a player on him the entire 90 minutes. So it's going to be about, can he win his personal battle in order to help Manchester United get chances. So the likelihood is he'll probably marked by Leroy Fer or Roque Mesa for this one. One of those two guys will be asked to pick him up and see if they can do a good job. The United lineup, though, it's a decent one. It's not quite as good as I thought it was going to be. James Wilson starting up top as well ahead of Romelu Lukaku for this one. And the first chance took until the second half. Anthony Martial stealing the ball, finding Ben. He eventually cuts it back to that right foot, whips across in towards Martins. And that just showed you how much of lacking creativity they really are. Because with the first chance in the 60th minute, for it to be that, not fantastic. But then all of a sudden, 13 minutes from time, the second chance of the game appeared. And it was James Wilson applying the finish in the last 13 minutes of the game. A game that otherwise had been so poor. I just think, in general, United at the moment, that confidence that we would see from Ben when he's on the ball and stuff, I think Ben's lacking a little bit of confidence, and overall that's kind of having an impact on the team, because over the course of the last few episodes, we've seen the fact that he hasn't been able to really impact that much, and United are only winning games by a goal or 2 goals, whereas at Real Madrid, when Ben was in full confidence, he was playing out of his skin and they were winning by 3-4. This time around at Man United, maybe he's lacking that little bit of confidence, and maybe that's having an impact on the rest of the side, because they're only winning by a goal, 2-0. It doesn't matter as long as they're winning, but there will be games later on down the line where they'll still be 0-0 with 10 minutes to go, and they won't find that lucky goal. So they've got it here for the second time in a row. They got one against Galatasaray. Now they've done it again here with James Wilson. But overall, we can't keep relying on this. They're going to have to perform better. And to be credited, Swansea, they did a really good job at keeping Ben quiet and actually could have got themselves back in it. Once again, a last-minute chance here going down the right-hand side. John Stone, though, makes a good save, but it wasn't ending there because Swansea kept the pressure on. Jordi Amat back to the middle, looking for McBurney. He gets on the ball, he brings it down, finds Roque Mesa back out to the man on the right. Leroy Fer, the latest strike. It's blocked by Ben, doing a little bit of defending work as he tries to do. Finds Digne on the left. It comes to Amat. Amat's strike is straight at John Stone. And luckily, they hold out and get the 3 points, Ben and Manchester United. But again, looking at that game, the way they played, how poor they were, and just the lack of creativity in the side, it worries me slightly. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It really does. I mean, look there. From the match highlights, there were those 2 chances to show you that was it. And United were by no means the better side. You know, they created 2 opportunities, one of which they scored from, but you look at Swansea and they were very nearly getting a point from that one. So again, it's a little bit worrying, but we'll hopefully get past that later on and continue on regardless. The next team, it doesn't get any easier for United, because when they're not playing in confidence, you want to be playing like teams down, the bottom half of the division, the teams that are going to get relegated, the teams where you can probably go there, and if you get 1 goal straight away in the early minutes, you might go on to win 2, 3, 4-0. But Stoke aren't one of those sides. So again, it's going to be a tough game here. When United are not playing well, at home as well, their fans are going to get on their back. It's going to be quite tough, this one against Stoke. So let's hope that there is going to be that difference maker in the side. That's going to be Ben, and he is going to make the difference, allow the United fans to have some happiness, and that then they'll get behind the team, and we might go on to win this one by 2, 3, 4. But we'll see how it's going to pan out. Again, the side, John Stone in between the sticks, a better back four than last time out, but Regan Poole, for some reason, back in that midfield. Don't know why. I'm not going to complain because it is going to be a recurring theme. James Wilson, the hero of the last game, is back in as well. It's a 5 at the back from Stoke. They do have Pulisic and Piaka on the wings as well, with Longo up front. So there is that likelihood that maybe if they get one chance, their front 3 is pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. So I'm slightly worried about that. We'll see how it's going to pan out. But 9 minutes into the game, at least there was an early chance. Ben on the volley, half volley, sorry, brings it down with one touch, goes with the left foot, and he was inches away from making it 1-0. Take one more look at this, guys. He's not far away at all. There was only really one thing in his mind when he picked up that ball, and that was to shoot. So fair play to him. He got his shot away. It was only just wide of the post, and it was very, very nearly 1-0. Good signs, though, creating an opportunity quite early on into the game. And as Stoke goes back underway, the next chance came in the 21st minute when Ben over on the right-hand side used Martins here. Great little ball through to him. He takes it round the defender, gets into the area, fouled in the penalty box, and the penalty was given. Advantage had been played by the referee, but there was clearly none to be played. And Muniesa gets a yellow card. I mean, I looked it back. You'll see it from this angle in a moment in a replay. There isn't massive contact here, and that's probably why the referee didn't give it as an outright penalty. There is slight contact. Ben does kind of go into him. You can say it's Ben running into him rather than Muniesa making the actual challenge. But he can't go to ground in the box because he will give away the penalty. So Martial to step up for Manchester United. Hero in the last few episodes. Can he become it yet again from the spot? I have no idea what on earth that was. I will show you again another replay because it deserves one more look at that. What is this for a penalty kick? Again, I'm going to question, why is Ben not allowed to take penalties? If that's the kind of stuff that's going on, why is he not allowed to take a penalty? But regardless, second half began, and it was Stoke with the first chance of the second half. Pulisic stood over this free kick. Bojan then gets on it as well, and it is going to be Pulisic with the hit. And to his credit, he forced a save out of John Stone. I wasn't expecting to see that, but he did force the save out of the Manchester United goalkeeper. It was on target, and he had to make that save. And with 17 minutes to go, once again, it looked like we were heading for a 0-0 draw. But then Ben in the box finds himself in a little bit of space, goes for the shot. It's rebounded straight back to that man yet again, James Wilson, keeping Romelu Lukaku out of the side. He scored the winner last time out at the Liberty Stadium, and he looks like he might have scored the winner here at Old Trafford if the United defence can hold on to this 1-0 lead. Now, as I said, for a home team here to have this kind of performance, we didn't dominate. No way near did United dominate this game. And it showed, because 12 minutes to go, Ben, who is maybe, as I said, lacking that little bit of confidence, took a really, really dodgy touch in the centre of the pitch, gave it away, and that was the cause that allowed Stoke to get an equaliser. 10 minutes from time, a lot of the blame will go on to Ben for that goal. As I said, he's lacking confidence at the moment, maybe, and that's why the performances haven't been as fantastic as they were at Real Madrid. But that goes as well for the majority of the United team. You know, we've seen them give away stupid passes. Pogba, for example, last episode, when we saw him give away that pass when he looked for Ben, after Ben called for it, and he hit it straight towards the enemy team. You know, so that goes for a lot of the United team at the moment. Maybe, although I say that, they are top of the table, but, like, their performances, they're not fantastic. And that's something that I was expecting to see. You know, when we come to a team like Manchester United, you expect them to play nice football. You expect them to do really well and, you know, kind of dominate games. But to be fair, they're not really doing that at the moment. Yes, they are top, but every game they seem to play in, it's not like they're dominating all the time. And although the match facts from that one said they had 11 shots, they only kept 4 of them on target. So, yeah, they're creating chances, but they're not fantastic chances, and they're not doing well when they get into positions to score. So, it is what it is, and that unfortunately now means that Chelsea will go back top of the Premier League table. The 1-1 draw there now means that Chelsea's win sends them top, and it is Manchester United sat second. So, still undefeated, but as I said, it's disappointing to see them sat second now. So, unfortunately, after that, Ben's mistake might have been the reason why he wasn't picked for this game against Ajax. And you can see he wasn't picked. Stendera was chosen over him. Conan gave Manchester United the lead here. As I said, this is an important game, you know. So, maybe from Mourinho, that sends out a statement. The fact that he dropped Ben for an important Champions League tie here and put Stendera into the side maybe suggests that, you know, he doesn't have full faith in the attacking midfielder. But for now, Stendera gets the second, and that might cause him to even miss more games now, Ben, because Stendera scoring against Ajax there doesn't help his case. But what it does mean for United is that they are now through of their Champions League group. We'll have to see when they play against Barcelona next time out who will go out as top spot and who's going to go out in second place, because, of course, whoever wins that game will effectively leave as group winners. But a draw will mean that Barcelona do, and of course defeat for United means that Barcelona do as well. But they'll still be out regardless, no matter what happens in that one. So that's exciting for us to check out next episode. But luckily for Ben, even though he was dropped against Ajax, he was thrown back into the mix for this game against West Brom here, instantly thrown back in. Mourinho said to him, look, he was dropped the last time out. He doesn't expect him to keep having these kind of, mistakes happen in his game. He's one of the better midfielders in the world. You would expect him to not make mistakes. I know he's human, but when he gets that ball in there, you'd like to think he's got the composure to make sure he doesn't give it away, but that's just disappointing. So, next game coming up, as you can see, it is Manchester United in second. 9 wins with 3 draws and 0 defeats from their opening 12 games. And the West Brom side, it's decent. They've got Chambers, they've got Livermore in the midfield, Phillips and Tom Davis as well, actually, from Everton. He's got a decent potential as Tom Davis, so he's quite good. And the United team is there for you again. Paul in the side at the defensive role. Herrera and Matic holding down the midfield. Front three of Martial, Martial, Martins and Wood. And then, of course, Wilson up top. And it took 5 minutes for Ben to get on the front foot. His shot well saved by the West Bromwich Albion goalkeeper, to his credit. I wasn't expecting to see him struggle with that one, but it came at him with pace, to be honest, and that's kind of a decent save from him. And then as we move into the 21st minute of the game, West Brom got on the front foot, and Regan Poole gave away a penalty. And that just kind of, again, I'm wondering why on earth Mourinho's got so much faith in the young Welshman. But to be honest, it is what it is. He gives away the penalty kick, and we'll just unfortunately have to deal with it. And John Swift stepped up for West Brom to try and score. John Stone guesses correctly and makes an important stop. Because if we'd have conceded there, tell you what, this side, lacking confidence the way it is, that could have been really, really bad if they'd have gone 1-0 down here to West Brom. That could have gone so much worse, because that potentially could have gone to 2, maybe even 3. And then when the keeper makes a save like that, it doesn't help Ben's case at all, because he gets his header right, he gets it down towards the goal. It's just the keeper makes a fantastic save and is denied. So in the 41st minute, Matic has to do something very huge. He leaps up like a salmon for the corner, wins the header, and it's off the post, it's off the crossbar, sorry, comes down and hits the goalkeeper on his hand and ends up going in. Like, I just felt so bad. I really felt so bad for the goalkeeper. Another look at that there, you can see he can't do anything about that. It's just unfortunate, and to see it come back off the crossbar and do that, it really is unfortunate. He can do nothing about it. But again, as we move now into the second half, West Brom started the half a lot better. Their man on this left here finds John Swift again, who misses that penalty earlier on, and he was close to making the score 1-1 there. So again, why can't we seem to just wrap up these, these points in these games? But as we got towards the close of the game, United created another chance. Lukaku to Ben. Ben drives into the penalty area, gets past his man, cuts it towards Martins, and he applied the finish to give him a 2-goal advantage, which is like a weight lifted off, I guess you could say, because what it means now is, even if they do concede here at the Hawthorns, they will still, hopefully, I would say, go on to win the game by 2-1. But it just showed as well that for once, they can score more than just 1 goal. They've got a second. It's happened the last 3 games of today's episode. They've won them 1-0, 1-0, and then drawn 1-1. And for once, they've got more than just a goal in a game. And it's happened here at the Hawthorns. So the game could have gone much differently if John Swift had scored his penalty earlier on. He didn't, though. And that is why United now look like they're on course to heading for 3 points in the game. And with 3 minutes to go, West Brom never really gave up, which is credit to them. They kept going on to the final whistle. Ollie Burke through here. His strike is wide of the post, though again, it's a decent opportunity for West Brom, and it really could have been different this game if they'd have taken their chances. Herrera booked there in the last few minutes, and that was the end of the game. So a 2-0 win for Manchester United, proving to all those doubters that they can score more than the 1 goal. And the only doubter there was me, because it was just sarcasm, isn't it? But no, regardless, it's nice to see them finally scoring a second rather than just the one they kept getting in the earlier part of today's episode. Now, Chelsea winning again, though, against Watford means that, of course, they do stay top. That is going to be really close. I feel like Chelsea are going to take us right to the wire this season. It really is very close at the top, and although they've lost their game, of course, United's draws don't help them. And coincidentally, Chelsea are one of the other teams left in this Carabao Cup tie. I'm not quite sure. I think West Brom are still in there. Chelsea are in there. Of course, Nottingham Forest are in here because we're playing them right now. There is a couple of other teams as well. Maybe Brighton are in there, I think, possibly. Maybe Liverpool as well. I think they're one of the other sides. But I could be wrong. I don't actually know 100% who's in the competition. But as we get into game here, I messed about doing the pre-game lobby there thing. But anyways, this game against Nottingham Forest, it's a chance for Manchester United to get themselves to a semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Of course, for Ben, he's already won it once. He already won it with his side, of course, Spurs, when he was there in that double with the league and the Carabao Cup. The only one he needs to win in England at the moment is the FA Cup, and that's pretty much, I think, most of the stuff won here. So, yeah, the side is decent. They've got Jota out on the left. It is, of course, a little bit of a change side from what we're used to seeing. In fact, as I say that, I think there's only a couple of changes in there. So, again, taking no prisoners, he really is respecting this Nottingham Forest side, and rightfully so. We've seen so many times Championship teams knocking out Premier League clubs because they don't respect them enough. For example, Arsenal in real life. And, again, United in the first half, rubbish. United in the second half, they turned on. 56 minutes in, ball over the top towards Martins, who, of course, was received a pass from Ben in the last game against West Brom to score. This time, he turns creator for Ben as he slides it across, and there he was with that left foot, driving home to break Nottingham Forest hearts here. They played really well in the first half. They kept the players quiet for Manchester United, didn't allow them chances, didn't allow them to get on the ball that often, and when they were in the ball, they closed them down quick enough. It's just second half, you know, you're looking at that thinking maybe the stamina's not going to be there for them to chase around the players. And Ben, he bought his time quick. He's good at what he does. He knows when to make those runs into the box, and he gets another one there that's a goal for his side. And that was the first real chance of the game, so he's taken that to his credit. And Zielinski comes off the bench for Matic, fresh legs again, shoring up that United midfield. Should mean, of course, that they will now dominate in the midfield part of the game. But 63 minutes in, I mean, what can you say? What can you say about this young man? You know, I spent most of the episode saying about the fact he's lacking confidence and stuff, and that could be a massive boost to his confidence. I know, obviously, he's not having a bad season. He's doing really well still. He's getting the assist. He's doing well. He's not quite got the goal-to-game ratio in terms of his contribution just yet because, of course, he's a little bit behind, whereas at Real Madrid, he always seems to be there, and he just did the job for Real Madrid. And whereas at United, it's been quite an interesting start for him. You know, he's come back to the Premier League. He's seen that, of course, it's going to be more difficult maybe than what he was expecting it to be. And the fact that he hasn't scored as many goals as he probably would have at Real Madrid at this stage just shows that. But that goal right there gave me the confidence that for this season, Ben is still going to be a world class. And he's probably still going to be the man that will make the difference for United in the games where it's still 0-0. But to credit Nottingham Forest, they did actually create a chance late on in the game. 90 minutes into it, it went wide of the post though, so their finishing boots were also off. But for Manchester United, this was one of those wins where you just had to say, job done, you know. They were expected to win the game. They came here, and although they didn't maybe dominate the first half, they came here and basically just made sure that the win was theirs. As soon as they took the lead with Ben, he got a second, and after that, they shored up defence. They didn't allow stuff to happen, and they made sure that they would get the job done. So as I said, I was unsure with the teams. I got it wrong. There was Leicester still in there. There was Leeds still in there. There was Chelsea still in there. There was West Brom still in there. But it means now that United will go through to a semi-final of the Carabao Cup, where they will be facing, you'll see it in a moment, and let's just say, this couldn't have gone any better, because for the neutral, it's going to be a really good game. That's how the league table currently looks, though, guys. As I said, a point behind Chelsea isn't very helpful, but Spurs are up there as well. And Eriksen actually has won Player of the Month the last 2 months. Carabao Cup draw, it is Manchester United playing against Chelsea. The other tie is West Brom versus Everton, so we'll see how that gets on. Liverpool aren't even in there, so I don't know why it's the Liverpool. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much for all of your support. As I say all the time, it is incredible to see that you guys enjoy this series, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that as well. I will see you all again at 4 PM UK time tomorrow for yet another video. Make sure you don't miss it, guys, by smashing that subscribe button and the notification bell, and you never miss an upload. See you all tomorrow at 4. Adios!